Hello, and welcome to Sexual Health LGBTQ2. Today, we'll be looking at what it means to come out, how someone can approach coming out to friends and coming out in high school, and the stages of understanding that people will go through when finding out someone they know identifies as LGBTQ2. We will also look at what being an ally is and the importance of it. The information used for this video can be found in the pamphlet section on the Out Saskatoon website, a great resource. So when we talk about what it means to come out, this is also known as coming out of the closet, meaning that a person has begun to openly discuss their sexual orientation or gender identity. When a person comes out, they are working to reveal a part of themselves that they may have felt embarrassed, worried, or scared of showing to others for any sort of reason. Coming out can also mean a person is developing self-acceptance and feeling more comfortable with their sexual and/or gender identity. The process of coming out can happen at any age and is something that isn't easy to do. There are several factors that can keep someone from coming out, one of the bigger ones being the fear of discrimination, isolation, or harassment. The coming out process is not an abnormal one. Those who identify as LGBTQ+ are not different people because of what they do, who they love, or what gender they identify as. It is important that people show respect, caring, and understanding for those of this community. If you are someone who is thinking of coming out, here are some tips for you on how to come out to yourself. If you are not someone who is currently thinking of coming out, this can give you some insight as to what someone needs to do to start the coming out process. The most important thing to do when coming out to yourself is to be honest with yourself. When you are in this position, it can lead to some worries or fears. However, if you're honest with yourself, you can ready yourself to take on and conquer these fears. Unfortunately, this is easier said than done, but honesty truly is the best policy. You also need to trust yourself. You and only you will know when is the right time to begin the process and understand how others may react to your coming out. Lastly, everyone's journey in this process is totally different. If you are worried about how other people made this choice, don't. Everyone has a unique path in life. There is no script or right answer, so to speak. As long as you can feel comfortable on the path you have chosen and you feel good about the choices you're making, you're doing the right thing. For young people, high school is a very challenging time. And if you come out as identifying as LGBTQ2+, it can make for an even more challenging time depending on where you're from. While it may not be easy, coming out in high school can be done. Just like when you come out to yourself, you need to trust yourself. Most likely, you'll have known your classmates, friends, and teachers for quite a while. You can trust yourself to know how they might react and who you can lean on in times of challenges. You need to make sure that they understand that you're the same person, just with a different gender identity or sexual orientation. This is also a timely process. You may have to wait for a little bit until you feel that it is a safe time for you to reveal this part of your life to those around you. Most importantly, there is support in high school. You just have to know where to look for it. The best place to find support is with a trusted friend, teacher, or school counselor that you know will be supportive of you. Once you have some initial support, it can boost your confidence when telling others when you know that someone has your back. Another thing you can look for are what are known as safe spaces in your school. You can find a safe space by looking for a rainbow colored poster or pin that shows that they are an ally, and we will cover this term in a little bit. Now that we've covered what someone might go through when they are entering the coming out process, we need to look at what other people may experience when they have a friend or loved one going through this process. There are 5 stages that people will typically go through. However, some people may stay in one stage or may go through the stage slowly or quickly. It really does depend on who the person is and their ability to understand what the other person is going through. People will always move through these different stages, as we have said before. So when we look at stage 1, it is known as shock. So, it is human nature that any unexpected news is met with shock. You are usually surprised by things that you're not ready to take on. This is a natural reaction. Don't worry, this is what happens with everyone. When we look at the second stage, this is known as denial. Denial can take many forms. It can look like anger, being uncaring, ignoring, or rejecting the person's speaking of coming out. And this is often used as a defense mechanism, in a way to refuse what is being heard so that they don't have to deal with it. Stage 3 is guilt. People will blame themselves. They may feel guilty in a way that you are LGBTQ and it's somehow their fault. This is a mindset that is negative, and we don't want them to look at the fact that this is a negative thing that has happened. The person who is coming out has an opportunity to live an open, honest, and maybe even happier life. For the people in the third phase, support is really important to help them through. This can include things like internet or paper resources that can inform them on what it means to be LGBTQ2 and clear up misconceptions that they may have. They can also find community organizations that focus on supporting people in these situations, or even finding people who may be in the community who they can ask questions who have experienced this before. Stage 4 is expressing feelings. This is where you will see a person start to beginning to accept the situation. However, this stage can also still be hurtful because when they ask questions, they could be mean or nasty. Remember, this is not because they want to hurt you. It is because they may truly not understand what it is like to be a member of the LGBTQ community and need that focus and that understanding. So again, this is a great place that you can give people resources. The last stage is true acceptance. This is when a person has fully accepted the new identity of the person who has come out. They're willing to give all of their love and support to this person. And now that they recognize this person's struggle, they can also become an ally if they so choose. And speaking of allies, we should understand what an ally is. This is the best way that we can support those of the LGBTQ community. So an ally is somebody who believes in equality for all. This is a person who believes that no one is better or worse for their gender, orientation, sex, or race. Allies can assist others in the coming out process by being there to listen, stand up for them, and support them as they tell other people along their journey about their gender identity or sexual orientation. An ally is someone who actively works to help others understand equality, fairness, acceptance, and mutual respect. These ideas are so crucial in helping the LGBTQ community feel understood. These are also good rules to live your life by in general, too. So, for us to be effective allies, we need to educate ourselves. This is one of the most important things you can do with anything, especially this topic. We need to understand the language, the terminology, and the previous and current struggles. These are an essential part of being an ally. You can display your support proudly. If someone from the LGBTQ2+ community sees that you are an open and honest ally, they can feel comfortable and feel strength in knowing that there is someone they can turn to if they're having a difficult time. One of the more important things that I really want to stress is that you must refuse to use LGBTQ terms as jokes or insults or any sort of gay bashing terms. This does not help with the stereotypes or any discrimination that exists. If you stand up for it, you can make the world a little bit safer and allow for your environment to be safer. If you stand by silently, you're encouraging behavior. This is much easier said than done to stand up, but it really does help those around you. You should practice inclusive behavior. This means using preferred pronouns for a person, so if they prefer they, them, he, she, whatever it may be. Using gender-neutral language and not assuming someone's sexuality, and clearly showing safe spaces and support. You can participate in events that celebrate the LGBTQ2+ community. This is a great way to be an ally. In Saskatoon, there's a month-long event called Pride. It has several free and paid events that people can attend, including a parade. If you're not able to attend any of these events, look for celebrations and events in your local area. Lastly, but most importantly, be a positive role model and encourage others to be allies. There is strength in numbers. The more people who understand and accept the members of the LGBTQ2+ community, the safer we make our schools, places of work, and communities. Thanks for watching. As always, please follow the instructions in the lessons and look at the resources page for more information on the topics we have covered in this unit.